So this is Jason Peters. We interviewed, well, me and Callie and Tyann interviewed 3 of these students from the GED class. We interviewed Jason and then also Kelly and Lawanda. Kelly is here today, but Callie was going to talk about him, so I don't have the information on him. I'm sorry. But so I'm going to tell you guys about Jason, some of the things that he's done in the past, things that he's doing now, and what he's planning on doing in the future. First off, his name's actually Fred Jason Peters. His middle name is Jason, but since his dad's name is also Fred, he goes by Jason to avoid confusion, which is something I know a lot about. My dad's name is John, my brother's name is also John. So when people call on the phone, you're pretty much interrogating them to figure out which one are you talking about. The younger one, the older one? Give me a description. So it works a lot better with separate names, so it's good that he goes by Jason. His dad actually went into the military and got his GED while he was in the military. And his mom went to night school and got her high school diploma. And his sister is right there, actually graduated from high school, I believe in California, a couple of years ago, yes. And then that is his nephew, also her son. Jason went to high school in California. He was born in San Diego, and then he mentioned a couple other places where they moved around when he was really young, but for the most part he was raised in Rialto, which is in Southern California. And something interesting about Rialto is that in an article called Favorably Disposed in a magazine called Planning, it talked about how there's a lot of waste-to-energy projects going on where they turn decomposing organic waste into something that they can use to produce energy sources. And so in the city of Rialto, they actually have a system where they're turning sewage into burnable, they call them e-fuel pellets, to replace coal. So they burn those in conventional power plants to produce energy instead of using coal. And it actually helps to prevent a lot of the carbon dioxide that would be given off from it decomposing organically from getting into the atmosphere by using that as a fuel source. So that's a project that's actually going on right there in the city where he's from. And then also, the high school that he went to there is Eisenhower High School, and that is the high school that an NFL Hall of Famer Ronnie Lott went to. And so in an article in Ethnic News Watch, it talked about how they have a stadium there named now after Ronnie Lott. So that's the same high school that he went to. When he moved up here to Washington in 2002, he went to the Spanaway area, so he was enrolled at Washington High School in Parkland, which is actually the high school my mom went to, and then also at Spanaway Lake High School. And neither one of them really worked out for him. He wasn't comfortable with the environment. It wasn't something that he was really interested in, so he ended up coming here, and he's now in his first quarter of the GED class here at Clover Park. He said that he chose Clover Park because friends recommended it that had gone here. They liked the facilities, the teachers, the atmosphere, so he was very interested in coming to Clover Park, so now he's here. Some challenges that he's faced in the past: he had a lot of problems with peer pressure, and in an article called Join the Club, How Peer Pressure Can Transform the World, it mentioned that peer pressure connotes the ability of a group to impose its will upon an individual, and that's usually viewed in a negative way because it's what encourages teens to take up smoking and entices inner city youths to join gangs. So that's something that a lot of people have problems with, is peer pressure. But that was a major influence on him when he was in high school. A lot of the people he was associated with were involved in drugs and things that weren't really helping keep him focused on school. So he ended up following suit with that and getting distracted and not finishing high school. Another problem that he had was his relationship with his dad. His dad wanted him to go into the military and have the same career that he had, and that was something that Jason didn't really want to do. So he ended up having a lot of fights with his dad. His dad's a very loud, forceful man, I guess, so they didn't get along very well. But some of the solutions that he found to those problems were talking with his mom. His mom helped mediate between him and his dad and find solutions to resolve their issues between them so that they at least had an understanding. And then he also mentioned that he just tries to take everything one day at a time. Instead of looking at everything that he has to do and getting discouraged, he goes just by what can I accomplish today and get done just today for myself to keep myself on track to accomplishing his goals. Some of the goals that he has are to get his GED, which he is currently working on right now here at Clover Park. I mentioned he's in the first quarter. Oh, he's 24 by the way, but yes. And then he's also, if he decides to go to school after he gets his GED, he would like to go into the culinary program. because he likes to barbecue and cook and experiment with recipes that you mentioned. So, picture of his lovely barbecue in there. That looks tasty to me. I'd eat it. And some of the achievements that he felt that he had is that his major achievement was just taking the step to actually come back to school here. Because before, he was going to school because he was in high school, you know, you're supposed to, by law, everything like that. But it wasn't something he was really interested in doing. Now, he said it's something that he wants to do for himself. So it's really motivated him to do that. And so he's really proud of the fact that he actually took that step to come back to school. Because for him, he said that was one of the hardest things for him to do, was actually take that. That was a big step for him. Some advice that he would like to give to other students, future or present students, is that to avoid distractions, or at least be aware of the distractions that you have so that you can keep them in their proper place. And for him, collecting nutcrackers is a little bit of a distraction. He collects nutcrackers. He said that his mom collects the Kmart teddy bears, and he collects nutcrackers, so every year they each get each other one of those, and there you go. So he's been collecting nutcrackers for about 6 years, he said. And then those are his dogs, Shadow and Midnight. And that is the car that he got in a wreck in not too long ago. It's a pretty crazy crash. He said it was more traumatic just because it was his grandmother's car than the actual crash, because he was the only one in the car and he was fine. But I thought it was a pretty crazy picture, so I wanted to put it in there. And then this is Jason and his boyfriend Troy. And this is him. You can't really see them. They're kind of small, and in the light it's blurry, but they're in a jug, like Jaws' mouth, at a museum of it or something like that. He was describing it. I wasn't sure where it was at, but that's him and a bunch of his friends in the entrance to a shark mouth. So that is Jason. That's a little bit about him, what he's done in the past with his school and family, and the challenges he's faced, and then solutions to those, and also his goals and achievements. So there's a little bit about Jason.